This Insignia, Vauxhall Insignia SRI diesel has just turned up. It's actually the one that was in Top Gear yesterday, the 8th of February, when they did the brake test. I'm just going to take it for a spin. I'll take you with me. Right, we're in the Insignia. It's a diesel, so 140 brake horsepower. And that's all I know about it, because the spec sheet's in the house. I know literally nothing about it. I've never even sat in an Insignia in my life. I got to turn the radio down. This is the first time I've sat in this car, so I've got to adjust the steering wheel, work out how that does. It goes up and down and in and out quite a lot actually, which is good. So let's get that right. It's a manual. It's a 6-speed manual. Come on, there we go. So I thought I'd take you for my first ever drive and we'll see what it feels like. I quite like the interior. It's not bad. I'm guessing this is a 30 grand car, but it feels quite high spec. I'll put the spec sheet on the video. Let me adjust this slightly. There we go. I'll put the spec sheet on the video. The seats look really nice. They feel quite comfy. And the interior, I like the way it's laid out. There's an armrest here. There's hardly anything under it. There's little space under it. Right, let's go for a drive, cause the light is going. It's 5 PM and it's the 9th of February. Right, well, I've got auto lights, which is a good thing. What have we got? Have we got auto wipers? Appears not to have, but it does have auto lights. I presume, being a Vauxhall, oh, it's got electric parking brake. I presume, being a Vauxhall, this has got digital radio and quite a good sound system. The previous Vauxhalls I've driven, aside from the Adam, did have good sound systems. Right, I'm sat too far forward, so I've just realised. Now I've set off, so I'm going to adjust on the fly because we're only doing 10 miles an hour. Right, there we go. Feeling a bit more comfortable now. This is quite a nice seating position. My legs have got a decent amount of room. I'm 5'10". I've got huge size 11 feet, so I do get caught on pedals in smaller cars and Lotuses. So we're just coming out of the village. Got to hit speed bump. That's all right. Soaked up quite a bit of the bump. Steering wheel feels really nice. Lovely leather on it. I do like that. I hope this isn't too dark because the nightfall is looming. Right, another speed bump. Doing 30. Yeah, a little bit of a crash out of Volvo V60 2 weeks ago. That did a better job on the speed bumps than this, but not a great deal. Right, put my foot right flat going up a hill. You know, it's got 140 horsepower, so this is going to weigh, I don't know, 1700 kilos, 1600, 1700 I'd say. And it's got a reasonable amount of poke, but nothing massive. It is a 6-speed gearbox. I presume the ratios are fairly closely spaced. Put away in second. Second goes all the way to 56 miles an hour. So it is reasonably sprightly, and the gearbox does allow for a decent amount of using the engine's torque, of which it'll have more torque than horsepower. Right, it's front wheel drive because it's a diesel. It's front wheel drive, and I just accelerated halfway around that corner and it didn't torque steer. That might be a product of the we've got a straight bit here. Let's do a 0-60 if I'm able. There might be a product of the lack of power, but I should think it's got a reasonable amount of torque, so it should have torque steered, so that's pretty good. Right, let's do a 0-60. I'm not bothering to count. Okay, change. We're in second gear now. Change up third. 60. Right, I didn't time that, but I'll time it later on the video. Now another corner. Steering's good. Steering's really quite good, actually. I'm impressed. And the general road holding and body, the way the body moves, pretty impressed. This is, you know, it's really quite big. It's a saloon car, obviously. You've got seating for 3 in the back, so there's quite a lot of car behind me. ABS kicks in then because it's pretty muddy here. Lots of corners coming up, so we can test this torque steering again at some point when we're not on a blind corner. It's pretty rural around here. Okay, so I like the interior, I like the seat. The engine's a bit weak. It's about the same power as a Volvo D3 or a BMW 318D, something like that. So it's not, you know, it's not hugely powerful, but it's got a useful amount of torque. I just took it right down in third gear, right down to just under 2,000 revs. Put my foot down and it pulled away fairly sprightly then. So that's reasonably impressive. Reasonably impressive. I have no idea what the fuel economy is because, like I say, this is the first time I've driven it. Right, we've got a corner ahead. Let's try this torque steer. Keep it in second gear. Around the corner. Super muddy. Foot down. Yeah. So the inside wheel does slip a bit, but crucially, oh, radio's come on. Crucially, not too bad at all. Actually, that was pretty impressive. I like the chassis. I like the space. Quite a lot of it. There's a reasonable amount of storage space. Daft shaped door pockets, as you quite often find in modern cars. I like the interior. Don't necessarily like the... We've got a pheasant in the middle of the road. Don't necessarily like the external shape, but it looks good in red. Too much chrome on it for me, too much bling, but the wheels are pretty epic. Good wheels. So far, yeah, I like the Insignia. I wouldn't kick it out of bed, to use a phrase. Right, we're behind a jogger now, on a blind bend, who is on the wrong side of the road. If you're on a rural road, you're meant to run or walk oncoming to the traffic. Oh, and he's waving me past. Thank you. At least he wasn't a cyclist. He just swore at me and stuck his fingers up. So, yeah, in conclusion, after a very short test ride, but my first time ever in an Insignia. I think the last Vauxhall saloon I drove was a Cavalier that I had as a company car way back when. So I've driven lots of other Vauxhalls, but not a big one like this for a while. And yeah, quite impressed. It feels quite refined, if such a word can be used for a Vauxhall, which it can.